Episode number 141. If my lord suspects they have been stolen, perhaps the person who stole them still has them in his hands. Wait, said the Duke. The only time I have worn these studs was at a ball given by the king 8 days ago at Windsor. The Countess de Winter, with whom I had quarrelled, became reconciled to me at that ball. That reconciliation was nothing but the vengeance of a jealous woman. I have never seen her from that day. The woman is an agent of the Cardinal. He has agents, then, throughout the world? Cried D'Artagnan. Oh, yes, said Buckingham, grating his teeth to his rage. Yes, he's a terrible antagonist. But when is this ball to take place? Monday next. Still 5 days before us. That's more time than we want. Patrick! Cried the Duke, opening the door of the chapel. Patrick! His confidential valet appeared. My jeweler and my secretary. The valet went out with a mute promptitude, which showed him accustomed to obey blindly and without reply. But although the jeweler had been mentioned first, it was the secretary who first made his appearance. This was simply because he lived in the hotel. He found Buckingham seated at a table in his bedchamber, writing orders with his own hand. Mr. Jackson, said he, go instantly to the Lord Chancellor, and tell him that I charge him with the execution of these orders. I wish them to be promulgated immediately. But, my lord, if the Lord Chancellor interrogates me upon the motives which may have led your grace to adopt such an extraordinary measure, what shall I reply? That such is my pleasure, and that I answer for my will to no man. Will that be the answer? Replied the secretary, smiling, which he must transmit to His Majesty if, by chance, His Majesty should have the curiosity to know why no vessel is to leave any of the ports of Great Britain. You are right, Mr. Jackson, replied Buckingham. He will say, in that case, to the king that I am determined on war, and that this measure is my first act of hostility against France. The secretary bowed and retired. We are safe on that side, said Buckingham, turning toward D'Artagnan. If the studs are not yet gone to Paris, they will not arrive till after you. How so? I have just placed an embargo on all vessels at present in His Majesty's ports, and without particular permission, not one dare lift an anchor. D'Artagnan looked with stupefaction at a man who thus employed the unlimited power with which he was clothed by the confidence of a king in the prosecution of his intrigues. Buckingham saw by the expression of the young man's face what was passing in his mind, and he smiled. Yes, said he, yes, Anne of Austria is my true queen. Upon a word from her, I would betray my country, I would betray my king, I would betray my God. She asked me not to send the Protestants of La Rochelle the assistance I promised them. I have not done so. I broke my word, it is true, but what signifies that? I obeyed my love, and have I not been richly paid for that obedience? It was to that obedience I owe a portrait.